Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode here on the O'Shea Vlogcast channel. I am your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. For those of you who are in the live stream, I definitely want to welcome you. Come on in here and give us a like on the video. For those of you who are watching the restream, I want to welcome you as well. Today, we have a very esteemed guest, very great guest, very great dating coach, one of the excellent and most best, I think, content creators, not only in all YouTube, but especially in this section of Black YouTube. He is a dating coach, a life coach. He is no stranger to this channel. He is no stranger to the Black Manosphere community. And that is the one, the only Mr. Lucario, over 11 million channel views, over 35,000 subscribers. And we're using his content today with this whole idea. Should I try to be possessive over the women that I date? Welcome, man, to another episode here. Thank you for coming on, brother. I appreciate you.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure being on here. Real talk. You feel me?
All right. Well, always glad to have you, man. Just for some people who might not know, you always ask this introductory question. For those people who might be getting a little bit familiar with your content, don't really know who you are. Kind of talk about what you talk about on your channel.
Yeah, basically. So I'm a dating and life coach, and I talk about how to get what you want out of your dating life. So for my Lucario fan channel, that's for the guys out there. Also have a channel for women, and also have a new channel for that I talk about motivation, inspiration, stuff like that. So basically just teaching people the game, teaching people how to get exactly what they want out of their dating lives, out of their sex lives, out of their, overall relationship. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool. So let me ask you this. I always, before we do a collaboration, I always use, your content or let you bring a topic. And I saw this particular video, and that is, should I, something along the lines of being possessive with women that you date. Let me ask you, what keyed off this inspiration for you to make this video?
Basically, the thing is, I was always the type of guy who never was really that possessive when it came to chicks. Like, it was never this thing where, because even myself right now, I'm in an open relationship. So, I'm married and I also have a girlfriend. And, so the thing is, I don't really look at it as this woman is mine. You understand what I'm saying? Where as a lot of guys and also a lot of women look at someone as theirs. You understand? So all I look at it as, I'm sharing time with you now. I'm enjoying myself with you now. And we just do what we do now. So, the thing is, in relationships, a lot of times people, they get hurt or they get upset at certain things because they're too attached to the person that they're with. You understand? So it's one thing to, love somebody. You can love a person and everything, and that's all good. But when it comes to the point where the attachment comes into this possessiveness, that's where a lot of drama, anxiety, a lot of that type of energy comes through the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about this whole kind of idea, because the name of the video I did see is the dangers of trying to possess women.
Right.
A lot of people think that, as a man, I have to be dominant over women. I have to exert she's my property. This kind of masculinity that's kind of been taught around certain cultures in the world. What do you think this comes from?
Well, the thing is this, you want to be in a situation where you are leading the interactions you have with women. You understand? And you want to be that dominant man in that situation when you're dealing with women. But at the same time, though, you understand, you don't want it to be in a situation where you're being extremely possessive and trying to sort of be in a situation where you're holding her down because you feel like you like, hey, well, I put in so much energy, put in so much work. I've, spent so much money on this girl. So now she's mine. You feel what I'm saying? So in the situation, you want to lead, but at the same time, you also don't want to have your grips in the situation. It's kind of like, let's say, for example, if you are the owner of Target, the store or whatever, right? So you have employees, you understand, that come to work for you. So you're leading those employees, you're guiding those employees, but you don't own those employees. So those employees are free to not work for you at any time. You understand? They can leave. You don't say, hey, well, you can't go anywhere because, I hired you and all that. No, It's like, cool, we're here for right now. And then at a certain point, you understand? If you feel like you want to bounce, you can bounce. If you want to stay, you want to stay. But in this situation, you understand there is no like ownership per se. You feel what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. There's a group of people who feel like, women want to be owned, they want to be dominated, they want to be told what to do. What do you think about those particular people who comment those sorts of things?
Well, that's the thing. They actually do want to be dominated. They actually do want to be told what to do, but it's within the context of what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Of when they're in a situation with you. You see what I mean? So the thing is, while they're in that situation with you, they want that dominant guy, but at the same time, they don't want to be in a situation where they're being controlled, or they don't want to be in a situation where, and when I say controlled, meaning that they have no choice but to be with you, or they feel like they need to be with you. It's like they want to be with you, and they want to be in a situation with you while they're being dominated in that situation. And then when they feel like, hey, I may want to move on to another situation, they want to be free to do that. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times what happens is people get themselves in situations where they don't feel like they're free to move on. And this sometimes goes for guys too. They feel like they're not free to move on. And also the person that they're dealing with feels this sense of like, well, you're mine because I put this much energy, time, and work into you. So you can't leave, or you shouldn't leave, or it's wrong if you do. You see what I'm saying? And so that's usually the issue with a lot of relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Let me talk to you about this whole idea of investing in and putting energy. I found, and I'm glad you bring this up. A lot of guys, when they put in money or a lot of time,
right?
I found out that women are not like banks, or
right.
Are because usually as men we think the more we put into something, the more that we get out. That is typically true of everything else but women.
Right.
Because a lot of guys miss that connection.
Right. So a lot of guys think this exactly how you put it, where it's like a bank, where you think, well, I put in all this energy and put in all this money, and over time it's going to give me these certain results. And so that's how guys look at women, where it's like that. But what they got to understand is that women, and men do it too, but women generally they're about the moment, how they feel in that moment. So in this moment, they're feeling the situation, they're with you, everything is cool. But the next moment, they may be feeling something different. And you're thinking because you did something in the last moment, it's supposed to carry over to this moment, but it doesn't really work that way. So some guys may say, so what's the point of even dealing with women, or trying to invest in a situation, or putting a lot of time, effort, or money into the situation? And see, the mistake that guys make is that they're doing it for the woman, or for the acquiring of the woman, which is why they'll get frustrated and upset. But what I suggest is that when you're dealing with women, you should be dealing with women in a situation where, it's mutually beneficial for both of you within the moments that you're dealing with each other. So, for example, if I'm doing anything that has to do with, any type of money or any type of time or whatever that's spent, it's because I actually want to do this thing. You understand what I'm saying? And also the girl in the situation also wants to do what she's doing. So after that moment is done, or after whatever is done, I'm not feeling like you owed me something, or I owe her something. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we're just in this situation together doing what we need to do. Now, there are times where a person might say, well, if I'm going to choose to be in a relationship with a woman, and let's say we're trying to get married or build something, you understand, shouldn't that be taken into consideration, right? And yeah, that should be. But the thing is this, you got to understand that you need to, as a man, and I always tell guys this, if you're ever going to get into a long-term committed relationship, whether it's just your girlfriend or a wife or whatever it is, you need to make sure that the girl that you're dealing with, right, is the type of chick that you see that can basically sustain for the long term. You understand what I'm saying? Because as much as women are fickle with their emotions and their thought processes with certain things, right, you can recognize a woman who who understands and sees your purpose and actually wants to follow that direction with you, who actually wants to go along for that ride with you. So
Mhm.
her, your purpose becomes her purpose. And essentially you sort of become her purpose, which is why she sticks with it. So a lot of times guys, they'll say, well, I don't want to invest this much or that much of this girl. She's just going to bounce here and there or on a whim. But the thing is that you're collaborating with this woman on a consistent basis over time. But again, at the end of all of that, you still need to understand that you don't own this chick. The same way where if you were to get in business with someone, because some people they equate marriage to business, and I also agree with that too. If you're in business with someone, you may be in business with them for a few years, and then y'all might go your separate ways. But the key point is that y'all are in business, meaning that y'all each put in something together. The problem with a lot of guys is that they just get with a girl because she looks good, she got a fat booty, but they don't require her to put anything in. So when it comes time for things to go away, or let's say you get married and you're like, oh, I got to give her half my stuff, you're giving her half your stuff because you only made it a situation to where you were only putting in and she didn't put in anything. So of course now it seems like half your stuff instead of y'all just splitting stuff that y'all built. You see what I mean? So
Okay, guys, we have 170 people watching right now. Thank you for being here. Go ahead and like the video. We got 42 likes, 3 dislikes. I'll go ahead and put the channel of Mr. Lucario there. So help us out as you're coming in with the likes and getting it up here. Let me talk about some examples. I mean, because the thumbnail that we're going to have is pretty funny for this particular interview once it's posted. But if you can, some guys might be possessive and don't know that they're possessive. Like a lot of guys tend to, when they look at their current relationship and they may hear things, they may not think that that applies to them. So let's be clear. When we say possessive, what are some things that you would consider are possessive that guys do?
Well, the thing is, one of the things that men do that will show that they're like being extremely possessive when it comes to like dealing with their chick is basically like anything that where a guy feels like he needs to like restrict her from doing her own thing. So for example, a guy may say, well, I don't want you to have any male friends. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, I understand how this works in a monogamous relationship, because with monogamy, most people they know that if the girl has the male friend, what's going to happen is the male friend's going to try to holler at her and try to make something happen. You see what I mean? Also, a guy might say, well, look, I only want you to do certain things with me and nobody else, whatever it is. There's a lot of different things that show it, but what you got to understand is that you want to have boundaries in your relationship. I'm not saying you can't, but at the same time, when you start being possessive, or you start putting up too many walls and too many things, you see what I'm saying? Then it becomes an issue where you're doing this because you have a fear of her leaving you, versus you just sort of like trying to put up boundaries to keep the relationship intact.
Okay.
And so, and a lot of that comes with, that's how the possessiveness comes about, because you have the fear that she's going to leave you, or the fear that someone's going to take her away from you. So you want to hold on, you want to grab onto the situation. The ironic part about that is the more you grab on and the more you hold on, is the more likely she's going to bounce. You see what I'm saying? And so the thing is, the more freedom that you have in your relationships is the more likely that the person is going to stay. Because what happens is that the reason why, especially when it comes to, monogamous relationships where a lot of things don't work out, is because each person in the relationship has a fear that the other person is going to leave, or somebody's going to take them away, or they got all this jealousy and all this other stuff, which causes that possessiveness. You feel what I mean? And so the thing is that when you have that freedom out there, you understand, you're able to be free, and the other person's able to be free. And then it frees up the energy so that both of y'all feel free within the relationship. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times cheating and all this other craziness happens because of people not being able to express themselves how they really want to express themselves in a relationship. And then they end up lying, end up doing things behind each other's back because of all that possessiveness. Now, again, you still want to have some sort of boundaries in the relationship, but at the same time, you don't want to have too many things going on, because then that's just an indicator of your insecurity and your jealousy and your fear of, losing that person. You see what I'm saying?
But, let me ask you this. So you're saying that you can set boundaries in the relationship
Right.
without being possessive. For some guys, that seems very difficult to do. How can you set boundaries in a relationship without telling somebody you can't have male friends, or you can't do this or that? How do you set those boundaries with allowing some level of freedom for the woman?
Well, this is the thing. Like I'll say it like this. Let's use the male friends thing for example.
Okay.
Right? You can set a boundary with that, but also give her freedom. So this is what guys will do where it's possessiveness. Possessiveness is you can't have any male friends, right? Now, freedom is you could have your friends, but if I find out any shit happens, we're done. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you're giving her the freedom to have her male friends. You understand? But if you find out that anything happens or that type of shit goes down, then we're done. You see what I mean? So what happens is that she has that freedom. You understand? But at the same time, you set the boundary of saying, well, if this goes down, then we don't need to be together. You see what I mean? And so, but also you need to be able to stick to that. You need to be able to be true with that. And a lot of guys, they'll probably end up taking her back, and then you're just done either way because you didn't really stick to what you were saying. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like how it is. So you just have to set the boundaries in your relationship to where she knows what it is. You understand? She knows what's going on, and she knows the rules of this type of arrangement. And so at that point, you understand? Then you can just chill and y'all do your thing. The thing is, you don't want to set up too many boundaries and too many things, because then it becomes a situation where, you feel restricted that you can't do anything. Because, I know some guys will say, I don't want you visiting your family. I don't want you doing this. I don't want you, out past, 4:00 in the afternoon, whatever the hell it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's all these different crazy things that get real ridiculous because it becomes a thing where, because it's the thing, the boundaries are supposed to really be a structure for the relationship to flow in a more smooth direction, right? Okay. The boundaries should not be a thing where you're trying to create a situation where you want to sort of lock her down in a way that because of your fear. You're scared you're going to lose her. So let me put up as many things as possible. Let me say as many things as possible so that I can make sure she's just here and nowhere else. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, because you said you're married, you have a girlfriend. So let me ask you this. What's the difference in the level of, I know possessiveness is not something that we should be doing, but okay. You talked about it a little bit earlier. If I'm just dating a girl, maybe we're just kicking it and we're exchanging mutual fun and that's it, versus that we decide to, okay, we're going to be girlfriend and boyfriend, or okay, we're going to be married.
Right.
Now, again, you live a different lifestyle, which is not a monogamous lifestyle. So what if you're marrying a woman? Let me give you a situation. You have a client that is getting ready to get married, and he's telling you, okay, she has male friends, her best friend's a male or something like that.
Right.
And she hangs out with some of her friends sometimes. It kind of bothers me. What advice do you give somebody like that? That is in a serious monogamous relationship. They're not just dating, but they're pretty serious. What would you say to something like this?
Well, the thing is, if he's at that point where he's about to get married and he still is feeling those sort of feelings, then he sort of went too far. Meaning, and this is what I say, and this goes for monogamous, open. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. I tell men this all the time. Is that any stage of the relationship that you get to, right, there needs to be something that happened before, as to why you're upgrading it to the next stage. So for example, if you were just dating a woman, right? And let's say she had, she had male friends, you're like, whatever, we just dating. You understand? I don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then what happens is, let's say she wants to be your girlfriend, right? And you're thinking about making her your girlfriend. So you can say to her, listen, I understand you got male friends. I'm not too comfortable with that. You feel what I'm saying? And it all depends on the type of guy you are. But let's say, for sake of argument, you're trying not to be possessive, right? So you say, listen, I understand you got male friends. It's not really my thing or whatever, but, do you, but understand that if I find out anything, we're not going to be boyfriend and girlfriend anymore, right? So you're letting her know, hey, you could do your thing, but we're not going to be boyfriend and girlfriend anymore, right? Now, let's say you're boyfriend and girlfriend with her, and she has her male friends and nothing ever happened, everything is cool. Now, because of that, because everything's been cool for how long I've been boyfriend and girlfriend, for a few years or whatever, now you can say, okay, she's proven to me that she could be a good wife because she's shown me that she could chill with these dudes and not be on some BS. So now that you're thinking about getting married to her, now you're like, okay, well, this can go down. But again, like I said, if he's at that point already and he's still wondering, I would say to him, you need to fall back a little bit and create that structure and those boundaries within your relationship to the point where you're seeing how you want your relationship to be before you take it to that next step of marriage. You see what I'm saying? And I talk about this a lot because, since I'm married, a lot of guys, especially in the manosphere, they're like, oh, getting married is crazy. I ain't going to ever do that and all that. And I don't really push guys to that and say you should get married. I say do what you feel you want to do. But I'll say if you do want to get married, because some guys still want to get married, always say that you have to, and this is my thing, I always tell people they should wait 5 to 10 years before they get married to any chick. You understand what I'm saying? I play the long game. So what I'm saying is that within those 5 to 10 years, you should know if this is the type of chick who's going to make a good wife on all levels. You understand what I'm saying? On anything you're thinking about, you should say, okay, yeah, this girl brings something to the table. This girl, she knows how to keep her body right, her mind right. Everything is on point. She listens to me. She follows my lead. Everything is cool. Boom. So now I can make you my wife. Before all of that, she should not be your wife or even your girlfriend at that point. You see what I'm saying? So she has to prove herself and be able to do things, in that fashion to get to that next level. You see what I mean?
Let me do this. Shout out to my brother Frito Knows Best. Thank you for the $1 super chat, my brother. I really appreciate you. Guys, do me a favor. We are here with Lucario fan, Mr. Lucario, giving us some excellent game, and 170 people watching right now. Do me a favor and get the likes up on the video. For those of you that need to subscribe, I'll get the link ready in just a minute. So do me a favor. 39 more people can like the video. That will take us to 100. I would really appreciate getting us to 100 likes in the next 5 minutes. He's nice enough to come over here and speak with us. Say, thank you, brother Andre Thomas. So, he's giving us always some good information when he comes onto this channel. He comes on at least maybe like once every 2 weeks, something like that. So, guys, thank you for your support in advance. Thank you, brother Andre, for the $5 super chat. Let's get the likes up here on the video. Let me ask you this. You talked about falling back a little bit in certain instances. I want to make sure I got it right. You were talking about falling back. Can you say it again so that I can understand so I can ask a question?
Right. So basically what I mean is this. This is the problem with relationships in general. And this is why you have so many divorces, so many people being in bad relationships, is because you guys out there, when you're dealing with women, right, you don't want to rush the long-term type of relationship. Like, have fun, hook up with girls all day, do that. That's cool. But when you're turning a girl into your girlfriend or your wife, you need to take your time. So if you've turned a girl into your girlfriend or your wife quickly, right? Or I would say, hopefully you haven't turned into your wife quickly, but let's say you turn a girl into your girlfriend quickly, take your time, fall back and take your time, and then vet her to see if she's capable enough to be your wife. You see what I'm saying? So don't get engaged, sir. Don't propose marriage or none of that shit until she's proven that she can be that wife. If she proves that she can't be that wife, then you don't marry her. You see what I'm saying? And so, when we're talking about this whole thing, when we talking about it in the context of possessiveness and everything like that, again, it's just about creating those boundaries. And if she is adhering to those boundaries, you feel what I'm saying? That's a good indicator that she could be a good wife. Also, I always say that a woman that you're dealing with should, in some form or fashion, be contributing to the finances in your situation. Because a lot of guys, they say, damn, well, if I get married and we break up, I got to give her half my shit. Again, make it y'all shit and not just your shit. This is why you got to take time to cultivate that situation to where she's putting in. So, for example, I used this example before. My book right here, How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day, right? I wrote this in 2011. And my wife, who's my wife now, she edited that book, and she edited all my other books. And she's helped me with my website. She's helped me book models for shoots, all this stuff. So all the money that I'm making now, right, is in direct relation to her putting into the business. You see what I'm saying? So let's say, for sake of argument, me and my wife break up today and we got to split some money. She's getting her fair share versus a guy who gets with a woman, marries her in 6 months, ends up divorcing her, and then having to give her all his stuff, but he didn't do the right thing to let her put in. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm talking about.
Let me do this here. A very good answer. Again, Mr. Lucario's link is in the description. Big O, what if she finds her friend attractive? How good were you in the past at finding out if your woman was really cheating?
So you said if the girl you're with finds some other the friend attractive?
Yeah. And how do you know if, because you said a little bit earlier that if you find out you didn't have any issues, you can kind of go to the next step. Then how do you know if the woman is cheating or not?
Well, that's the thing. You won't know unless you find out. You know what I mean? Unless you catch her, or unless she confesses. And that's the thing. But see, the thing is, guys think that. See, people think that by being possessive, that's going to stop it. You see what I'm saying? The thing is, all possessiveness does is speed it up. You see what I mean? Like, so what happens is that by you, it's almost like if I say, don't think about a chick with big titties and a fat ass, you're probably going to think about a big chick with titties and a fat ass. And I'm telling you, even though I'm telling you don't think it, you're going to do it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So if don't do this, don't do that. You're saying all these things, and then it's going to happen. It's going to amplify it anyway. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that there's this illusion, because I get a lot of people that hit me up all the time. They say, yo, man, I got to be monogamous because I can't deal with my girl or my man or whoever like cheating or being with somebody else. And I'm like, well, you could be monogamous and still be with your girl or your man, and they'll cheat with somebody else. Like there's no safety in this shit. There's no security. The security is an illusion. There's nowhere for you to rest your head. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just understand that. So what happens is that when you're being possessive, what you're doing is you're expelling a whole bunch of unnecessary energy to try to keep things in control that you can't control. You feel what I'm saying? And so I saw this meme one time that said, keep calm, nothing is in control. And I was like, that's exactly correct. Like you can't control all that shit. All you can control is yourself and how you feel and your own peace of mind. So understanding that you can't control all these other people, what you can do is sort of navigate and manage certain things to keep a certain sort of structure and sort of flow of things, but you can't control. And that's the thing. People, they possess because they're trying to control, and you can't do that. You see what I'm saying? It's impossible. You can't control another person's of how they're going to react, how they're going to do things, how they're going to make something happen. All you can do is see and sort of realize how they are and try to sort of manage that situation, and also pick the best sort of mate for you in those situations to see if you and that person's thought process is going in a certain direction so that y'all can work together. You see what I mean? I always talk about cooperation in a relationship. To cooperate is just you and that person being on the same page to go in a certain direction and to make things work out and be beneficial for you and that person. You see what I mean? When it gets into this possessiveness stuff, what happens is that comes from the ego, and it comes from the fear of losing what you think is your thing. You see what I'm saying? And so that's where all the craziness comes from.
Let me talk to you about this, Mr. Lucario. I know you talked about being possessive, but I was just kind of thinking about some of the other ways that some black men do it. And I know some brothers are like, oh yeah, I'm talking to my girl, and they'll text message, and if she doesn't respond back within a certain time, or she calls her, she doesn't answer the phone, this is probably, I guess, for younger dudes too and millennials, because a lot of guys. I mean, I know you're in your 30s or maybe something like that.
So.
Yeah, we the same age, 37. So with us,
Mm,
we don't rely on maybe as much technology as some of the other guys, but now people are FaceTiming and stuff like that. A lot of younger guys, if their girlfriend doesn't answer the phone, doesn't text right away, respond right away, it gets them a little angry. Now, let me ask you this, with technology and stuff like that. Do you find that the younger guys are more addicted to electronic ways of talking to their girlfriends or wives, Snapchat, stuff like that, and are do you have guys that have issues with the girlfriend doesn't answer the phone right away,
mm.
doesn't text message right away, stuff like that? Do you run into these kind of situations with your clients?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I run more into those situations where, like, if the girl isn't, if the girl is a girl he's just dating, that happens more. But if it's his girlfriend, it happens a little bit less, but it also does still happen. So I say if it's a girl he's just dating, a girl he's just sort of like hooking up with or whatever, a lot of times that's not really that big of a deal because she's not really your girl. So when a girl is your girlfriend, now that's a different story because you and her may have a sort of like rhythm and flow to how y'all interact with each other because y'all are on a different like level now. So you may say, hey, you may know your girl's schedule or whatever. You may know that she's not at work now. So when you text her, you're like, hey, hit me back, let me know what's good because y'all trying to do whatever. So it's a different thing with your girl versus a person, just a girl you're dating. The thing is though, is that if you're, for a lot of guys, I always tell them that women are on their phones all day. You know what I'm saying? So if you text the girl, even if the girl you're dating, and she takes like 2 days to get back to you, that's just a chick who has low interest. You understand? And even when you're dating a chick, you understand that's just a chick you're dating. If we're going to talk about possessiveness, that's that. If we're going to look at it as some hierarchy as far as the levels of the situations, that's the least time where possessiveness should even be happening. You feel what I'm saying? If you're going to be possessive at all, because that's just a girl you're dating. Now, if it's a girl you are in a relationship with, as far as a girlfriend boyfriend type of thing, then that's a different story because now you have a different rhythm than if you were it's just a random girl you're dating. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Let me talk about this also. A lot of guys think because all right, I've been having sex with her, I've been hitting it every night, I've been getting BJs, like that's my hoe. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right,
my
right.
Yeah, let's talk about that. 'Cause a lot of brothers, what I'm saying, is on that kind of stuff. It's like she's doing girlfriend type shit. She's doing
Mhm.
shit that a woman that you're married to or what was doing. So now you feel like you own her. Like, let's talk about that.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I remember, I forgot who said it. I think it's damn, I forgot who said this, but somebody said that hoes belong to the community. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that dudes got to understand. And the thing is, guys, see, when guys don't really understand what's going on out here on an objective level, they think that the girl they're smashing, especially if it's just a girl they dating and hooking up with, they think that she's just sort of with him. You understand? Even if he's doing it all good, he's giving her all the orgasms, she's loving it, the sex is great, everything is all good, and she may even tell you, hey, I'm just with you, or oh, I don't want to be with nobody else but you. She may say all that stuff in your ear because she's trying to feed your ego. But a lot of times these girls are, messing with other dudes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if that's not your girlfriend. Now, so if a girl becomes your girlfriend now, that's a different story because if y'all are in a monogamous relationship, then y'all made a promise to each other that, hey, it's just going to be us two. But even then, you understand, your chick can still also, cheat on you. It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But again, all that still stems from being able to choose correctly at the end of the day, because not every girl is going to be the type that's going to actively cheat. I personally believe that I can get any girl to cheat on a man because I'm just a retarded like that. But that's just how I'm thinking, because I can just go up and I'm gonna just do what I do because I've had it like I think it was probably maybe 1% of the time where there were girls that had boyfriends where I wasn't able to get them to fuck with me even though they had a boyfriend. But I don't do that too much anymore. That was like my younger days. But the thing is that you know, when a guy thinks that just because you're smashing a chick, that's your, like, you own her now. You feel what I'm saying? You're mistaken, because they're getting smashed by other dudes most of the time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of the situation, you know?
Let me do this. Shout out to Help Me Shannon for the $5 super chat. And guys, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, liking the video. 176. Do me a favor, 20 people in the chat to like the video will take us to 100. I already thank you. Help Me Shannon with the super chat goes, Lucario, is it okay to put a roots spells on a woman to gain her love and attention?
I mean, shit. I mean, if that's what you feel you need to do, but I'm like, come on, bro. I'm telling you, man, you gotta go out there and see, at the end of the day, this is what it is. I think, and this is hard. This is a hard pill to swallow for most people, man, because, you know, we're taught to be possessive. This is in our music. This is in our media. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We're conditioned to feel this way, because I'm sure there's people probably watching now who's going to watch the playback and be like, nah, fuck that. That's my girl. And I did this. And like, I ain't doing it. And it's because you're indoctrinated in that. You're indoctrinated to feel that way. Because even myself, sometimes, you know, like for example, when me and my wife was first, like, we've been together for 12 years, right? Going on 13 years, right? When we first got together, we were open the whole time, because my ex-girlfriend, I was monogamous, and I was sort of in that possessive type of energy. And also what happened was I cheated on my ex-girl like 18 times or some shit. But then we broke up, you know, it was over or whatever. So I said, the next girl I'm with, I got to be open. So my wife now, when I got with her, I was like, look, we got to have this open relationship thing, because I'm not really trying to, you understand, do all that other like monogamous stuff. I know I'm gonna end up wanting to mess with other, you know, chicks. You're probably gonna want to mess with some dude at some point. Look, I don't want us to break up over no bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what happened was, as we were first doing it, right? I was never, I never consider myself like the jealous type, but I remember there were times where, like, if my wife was like out with another dude or whatever, you understand what I'm saying? Or I would feel like, you know, like I would feel weird about it, because I'm like, damn, this motherfucker is you know, with my girl or with my wife and this and it. Like, it was just weird. If you understand what I'm saying? And so what happened was that at first I felt crazy, because I was like, man, like, she's supposed to be mine. Like, it was like that type of thing. Like, I put in this work. I done, you know, spent time and years, and now he just coming through and, you know, just making it. I'm like, you know, that type of shit was going on. And the same thing for her. On the flip side, it was like, you know, I'll be out with a girl or whatever, and she would feel a certain type of way and all this other stuff. So we communicated about that. You see what I'm saying? But again, we're both indoctrinated and conditioned to feel like this is mine. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we had to work on that. You feel what I'm saying? And so the thing is, it's not an easy thing to not be possessive, because you're gonna be that way, because you're conditioned to be that way. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's part of what it is. You see what I mean? And it's a process that you have to you know, learn how to get out of that type of situation. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Guys, let me do me a favor. Thank you for so much for the people liking the videos and all that stuff. Got Mr. Lucario here. I put his link in the description. Yeah. Things like that. Let me ask you this, man. You know, you were married in. Now, were you married and the relationship was still open?
Yeah, open the whole time. So when we first was dating, it was open. When she was my girlfriend, we was open, and now she's my wife, still open the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
So she can date people.
Yeah, she can date people, have sex with other dudes. I could date girls, have sex with other chicks, and you know, so that's how our relationship is. And so what happened was, and this is the thing. And again, this whole open thing ain't for everybody, because it's not really about even open relationships or monogamous relationships. It's about the thought of possessiveness. And mm-hmm. So that means that no matter what relationship you're in, you have to understand that you're sharing time with this person, and understand that that person is free to leave at any moment. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the part that we forget. We think, well, oh, well, we've been together for 3 years and I did this for you and I did that for you. Well, that's great. But at this moment, it can change at any time. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the reality of the situation. And so what people have to understand is that when it comes to them having a really great relationship, really good relationships, truthfully, is about it's really about that love, but the love is really about that freedom. Freedom is love. You see what I'm saying? And this is what people don't understand, is because if I actually love you, and I talked about this once on my live stream before, is that most people, when they say I love you, they're lying. So what they're saying is, they're saying I love the box that I put you in, because I don't really see you. I don't really know who you are, because I'm not giving you the freedom to be you. You see what I'm saying? And so when you give the person, when you're not possessive, you're giving the person the freedom to be them, and then you can actually love who they are. You see what I'm saying? That's when I love you will be a true statement. But what happens is that when we get into relationships, it becomes this thing where we're getting possessive of each other and we're closing each other off from the world. You ever notice how if you have a family member or something that's married, you probably hardly ever see them except for maybe on like Christmas or something, because since they're married, they're with their husband or wife, they're just isolated from everybody else. It's like we're together and we're just doing our thing and whatever. You understand? And so it becomes that possessiveness and also isolation from the whole, thing. You see what I mean? And so that's what happens a lot of times in these situations. So,
Okay. All right. Good game, guys. 4 more likes. Get us up to 100. Let me talk to you about this. I won't keep you too much longer, but you talked about, your video was talking about the down or some of the negatives of being possessive, other than the woman actually, leaving. I know that's one of them. What are some of the other things that you can figure out that are negative aspects of being possessive?
Well, being possessed, one of the other negative aspects is how it affects you mentally, because what happens is that you get so attached and dependent on the other person that creates insecurity and fear and anxiety within you. You see what I mean? So what happens is that because you have this possessive nature and you feel this like, oh, you need to be here, don't go anywhere, this and this and that. What it does is that it gets you to the point where you forget who the hell you are. You see what I mean? Because now you're in a mindset of just trying to gain or to keep this person or to grab this person so that you can feel happy. So that person basically becomes your happiness. That person is the end all be all to what makes you feel good in your sense of well-being. And so the thing is that possessiveness takes a toll on you psychologically and emotionally. You see what I'm saying? Because you've been conditioned, or you tricked yourself into thinking that because this is mine, you understand, you start to identify with that person that you're with, meaning that this is my girlfriend, this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my boyfriend, whatever it is. You start to identify with that person. So if something was to happen where that person was to leave, or you feel like someone's taking that away or whatever it is, that becomes a shock to your system because you're so attached to that person. Right. And that creates that insecurity within yourself because you feel you need that person in order to feel happy or in order to feel whole in your situation. See, the thing is, when you're in a relationship, you want the person to want you, and you want to just want the person. You don't want to have the feeling of you need the person or that the person needs you. You see what I'm saying? It's, it's a difference between like, and this is why I don't, this is a whole nother topic, but the reason why I don't really go like tricking and paying chicks for sex and all that, because there's this feeling of you're only having sex with me because you have to, you understand, or you feel like you need to because I gave you money. You feel what I mean? Versus you wanting to actually be there and have sex with me. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with possessiveness. Is like, well, you're only here because not because you don't want to do your thing over there. You're only here because you will feel guilty about doing it, or you feel like you're not supposed to. You understand? I want to be in a situation where you're free to go do you, but you want to be here. You see what I'm saying? That's where that's the thing. That's the where the sweet spot is. It's like you're free to go do anything else, but you're here at this moment. You always hear musicians say this, like, oh, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here tonight with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you actually want that. You see what I mean? And that's a different thing than sort of just being there because you feel like you have to, or the person needs you to be there and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No. I feel you. So man, I mean, I guess we kind of summed it up a little bit within almost 45 minutes, unless there's some things that I missed that you wanted to discuss. And guys, get the likes up. We have Mr. Lucario here for a few more moments. Are there any other things that pretty much in this piece that we didn't discuss, maybe that we should have talked about?
I mean, not really. I just want to say for people that's thinking about this topic is just understand that at the end of the day, right? You want to be able to enjoy the times that you have with people. You understand? Because like a lot of times, and I said this before, where all relationships are going to end. You understand? There's no forever. No, you're going to end. Either you're going to break up with the person, and you're going to die. So you're going to die or you're going to break up. Either one of those two things is going to happen. So it's going to end. So what you got to understand is you have to enjoy the moments that you have with that person. So now, while you're enjoying the moments you're having with that person, you have to ask yourself, are you actually enjoying the moments you're having? Because most people's relationships are, truth be told, and this is very sad, is that their relationships are a string of moments filled with anxiety and fear. You understand? So you can have a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, 6-month, 10-year relationship with someone and not really enjoy yourself the whole time because every day you're worried about, oh, is this person going to leave me? Does this person love me anymore? Is this person going to be here tomorrow? Or, oh, what are they doing now? Who's that they're texting? It's a constant anxiety because you don't feel that freedom to actually just chill and enjoy the moment you're with the person and love that person. You're always worried about what the hell is going on. Now, again, you can have the boundaries. You don't want to be in a situation where a person's just playing you and disrespecting you. You always got to, have those things in place to where it's not going to be on some BS. But at the same time, you have to give people the freedom to be themselves because you also want the freedom to be you. And so the thing is that you don't want to ever get confused and think that, and this is why a lot of relationships fuck up. People get confused and think that being in a relationship with a person is going to solve all their problems, is going to make them happy, is going to, no, that's not what it is. And if you're looking for someone to be that, that's what causes the attachment and then also causes the possessiveness because you feel that this person is the answer to everything that all your problems and all that other shit. Understand that you have to deal with all of that within you by yourself, period. And then when you're interacting with this person, you and that person, if y'all are healthy people who, work on yourselves, you'll be two healthy people coming together, sharing time, enjoying each other's space and everything like that. You see what I mean? And so there will not need to be this fear or this possessiveness because each party wants to be there. They don't need to be there. They want to be there. And they're actually being there because they feel that energy within, each situation. And they just want to keep that flowing. You feel what I mean? So that's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Okay. Well, man, Mr. Lucario, hell of a show as usual, man. I want to thank you for coming on. We did it underneath the hour. You hit all the points and stuff like that. Again, one of the best content creators, I say, in YouTube, period. The man is a content machine. He goes in real depth thought. Donovan is good. LAR is good. Rom is good.
Shout out to Rom Will. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. You know what I'm saying? All these cats they get it in. You feel what I'm saying?
But what I can say about you is you put out more content than anybody. And it's like all the time. And it's like over 2,400 videos. And the thing about it is to put 2,400 videos out in one niche.
That's crazy.
That's retarded.
That's crazy. And see, that's what I want to tell you guys out there. They be like, yo, how you can't fuck with girls because there's not enough time in the day. I'm like, bro, I put out 2,400 videos.
Yeah, 2,400 videos, man.
So, you can do it. You just got to have the time management. You feel what I'm saying?
And it's real hard. If you guys know anything about YouTube, man, YouTube is an actual job.
Right. Crazy.
Tell them real quick, Mr. Lacar. They think that YouTubers when we ask for support. I mean, you don't really do it, but some people that ask support, they don't know that YouTube is actually pretty hard.
Oh no, that shit is difficult because imagine you got to come up with the topics. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? You got to make sure they're interesting. You got to film it. Sometimes you got to edit the joints. You got to upload. And then sometimes, like I see you do like 10 shows a day sometimes. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, God damn, you know what I mean? So and you got to keep it consistent. So it's like it's a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. It is, man. YouTube is actually a real job, and then and then to come up with the topics and to the collaborations and stuff to keep it fresh and to cross promote and to get a network and all this. Like I said, man, you're one of the best, man, because you have 2,400 videos, and I have like over 1,000 out, but you have over 2,400 out. And that is amazing, man. So again, I want to thank you for coming over, man, and always putting your perspective on the things. And the last show that we did, I don't know why that video didn't get more views, man, but that was a really, really, really powerful video about, talking about how you can use women for more than sex and just, why you should be friends with women. I think that was a very unique topic. O'Shea got that 100 grand dude, Lucario, and thank you, brother Ron Star. So yeah, man, you come up with some stuff that nobody can say, oh, he stole that from me. Like it's definitely your own. That's what I like about your stuff.
Yeah, man, you gotta get out there and live life so you could, get more content to get to the peoples. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So any last words, man, that you want to give to the people, man?
Yeah, just make sure guys follow me on Instagram at real Mr. Locario. Hit me up on the Instagram. Also, go to mrlocario.com to get my book, How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day. Make sure you go to mrlocario.com. You get the hard copy, ebook, or audiobook. And also check me out at badboymembership.com. That is the site where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. You feel me? So that's what it is.
All right. And again, man, thanks so much for coming on, bro. I was able to hit him up, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, it was like last night, early in the morning and shit.
Yeah, and he's always able to come over, man, because he adds such value to the audience, because I'm not as good as Mr. Lucario with some of these techniques and things like that. So when he comes over, I'm not good at him at all. So he comes over, man. He helps basically really, really, really tie it in for the audience and for the shows. We have a really good chemistry. So again, brothers, thank you so much. We will be back in about 2.5 hours with Super Sly 75 because there's no brother pill tonight. If you don't like America, go back to Africa. So that's going to be an interesting show. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Lucario. A big fan of your channel, man. You guys can support him. And shout out to K Zaggin 20. I see him over there on your channel.
Right there. That's the dude right there. Shout out to my dude, man. He always on point.
Yeah, wherever there's a game or something that he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there.
Zaggin need to start his own channel. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. You feel me?
He didn't wrote an article for the Negro Master before. So, guys, thank you so much, and we'll open it up for a stream. So, thanks again, Mr. Lucario, and see you guys later on tonight.
I'll let you. All right, take care, y'all. Peace.